Hello and welcome to this week's Rocksmith developer stream. I'm your host and community developer, Doug Lilly. Welcome, one and all. If you have never joined us before, first off, we welcome you. Welcome to Rocksmith. What we do here every week, we look at the DLC that we've just released. We play through the songs. We talk about the songs and the making thereof. And we give away some prizes. We answer some questions. And we try to have as much fun as we can in a roughly hour-long period of time. This week, we released the Rockin Covers Song Pack 2, which has 3 new cover songs, all new to Rocksmith. Let's go ahead and take a look at those songs, and we'll come back and check out the first one after that. And welcome back. Lovely day here in San Francisco at the Ubisoft studios here. And welcome to Rocksmith. Going to go ahead and kick it straight to our first couple of guests. To my left, Andrew Levin.
Yo.
Welcome. How you doing?
Doing
you
pretty
are.
good.
I hear you're a note tracker.
Yeah.
Here. What is that?
We make the note tracks.
Okay. Cool.
We put the notes in the game.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And to your left, Amy Batista. Welcome. How you doing?
Hello.
I feel like it's been a little while.
Has been a while.
It's been a few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Few weeks. Well, I'm glad you made it back. Welcome.
Thank you.
And we're gonna start things with a song that you note tracked.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Yeah.
First song of this week is Louie Louie, as performed by Joan Jett and the Blackhearts. Yeah. So there were some things you wanted to mention about this song.
Oh yeah. Just something cool to kind of think about in terms of the production. You know, it's a 3-chord song, and they're power chords. It's somewhat simple. But one cool technique that you can use that's used in this song is you have 2 guitars. They're both playing power chords. One is just a little bit dirtier than the other guitar. and one of them tends to play a little lower than the other one. And they're played at the same time, and in the recording they're panned. One is a little farther to the left, and one is a little farther to the right.
When you say they play a little bit lower, do you mean volume-wise or tonally?
Tonally.
Okay.
Yeah. I think one is probably a little bit louder than the other. But the effect that you get is because both guitars are playing at the same time, different side, even though it kind of almost sounds like one guitar, you just get the effect that it just sounds a lot bigger.
Just like a beefier sound. Okay.
Yeah, and so I know like a lot of times when I was learning how to record at home and how to mix and all of that, I would play guitar, and even if I was using huge tone, it wouldn't sound as big as a lot of the records. And this is a technique that's used all over the place a lot of times. And one thing that makes it a little harder for us to note track is a lot of songs may have the same guitar part played 3-4 times, 5-10 guitars stacked in a recording. You know.
But they might only get one chart for that part.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. So
cool.
something fun to experiment with at home.
Yeah, that sounds good. Well, let's go ahead and get into the song "Louie Louie." Now, this is one of the most covered songs I've read. I lied to David. Sorry, David. Before we get into the song, so this is one of the most covered songs of
I
all
don't
time.
blame it. I'm not surprised at all. I mean,
it's a fun, catchy song.
Yeah.
But I've heard over 100 recorded covers.
I like how
of
she
this.
makes it sound like her stuff.
Totally.
Right.
You know, it's not like,
Right.
oh, we're gonna rehash the song from the way you know it. She's like, I'm gonna take a song and we're gonna play it my style.
Well, yeah, which I think is what makes a good cover.
Yeah.
Right. Is you want to make sure you keep the essence of the song, so it's still the same song, but then you do your own thing to it.
Totally. Unless you're an Elvis impersonator.
Right, but that's an
Let me go,
impersonation.
take
That's
it.
not a cover. I don't think that counts. All right, now for real. Sorry to the wheels of steel back there. Let's go and get to Louie Louie, and if you have questions, make sure you reach out to UB Jurassic in the chat, and he will get those questions to you.
We're on. Oh God.
No.
Here we go. Ready?
Today anyway. Slop City, Slop
Here
City.
we go, guys.
Hi, boys.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, definitely Joan Jett.
Yep.
Right there.
Can't lose it.
So since it's been a while, we did have some questions. We had some people commenting on your bass there.
On my Hofner.
So yeah. Tell us about the softener.
The awesome Hofner is a short scale. It's
Yep.
a short scale bass because I have small hands,
Mm-hmm.
and then the big one weighs too much. And it's really lightweight compared to I have the viola.
Yeah.
So compared to the viola Epiphone, this is a
Which
lot
it looks
lighter.
like shape-wise, it looks very similar.
Yes, but weight-wise and sound-wise, the Epiphone, the viola is a little heavier.
Yeah.
And it sounds a lot better. But the Hofner does fantastic for what I needed to do.
Okay. All right. And have we seen this Fender?
I'm not sure. It's shoes.
Shoes. Okay.
So
So
if
yeah.
he has played it
Taking
on the
shoes under-
stream,
all
then
right, that's
you've
possible.
seen it.
That's possible.
If
So
he
we haven't
hasn't-
seen
The
this
community
combination.
would know.
Right.
The community would
Somebody
know
out
if
there
this
will
is
know.
not if this has been there or not.
It's great. Great
I also
guitar.
want to give a shout out to the U.S. women national
Oh,
soccer team
sure.
because 2 friends of mine are actually playing.
Oh wow.
So they won today against Sweden. So yay!
Yeah.
So
I have another question for you. With short scale bass, this is from. I'm probably gonna get the name pronounced wrong. Ausseke, Ausseke. Anyway, they want to know with a short scale bass, what gauge strings do you typically put on them?
so these are just the basic 12s.
These are 12s. Okay. Okay.
You can go 11 or 12s. Dan was kind enough to do the viola right. He
Yeah.
needs to do his little magic touch on the Hofner, which I think it's right now overdue.
Cool.
So I will leave it at your desk.
And,
Thank you, sir.
and I did have there was a question that I wanted to ask all of the players that we have today, which is a dangerous question considering things. I want to preface the question with none of these answers are confirmation or hints of anything. I just want to know, what's your favorite cover song? Just this is purely personal preference. No promises, no confirmation. Somebody in the back has an answer for themselves.
I like Hailstorm's Bad Romance.
Okay.
That was
Okay.
that was a little bit different from Lady Gaga's, and it came out like a week and a half, like 2 weeks in
Yeah,
between each other,
yeah.
and it was really nice to hear the play.
How
but
they
yeah,
interpreted
there's
that.
like one was rock, the other one was not.
Right.
So it's like yes.
Andrew Levin.
Yeah, I would want to think about that for a little bit,
Well,
but the
so I shouldn't have
first
put you on the spot.
no, the first couple
Sure.
that come to mind are
Mhm.
Hallelujah, the Jeff Buckley
Okay.
version,
Yeah,
just because
yeah.
he made that song so his own. Also, Jeff Beck does a bunch of awesome covers. Day in the Life, Beatles,
Okay.
with Jeff Beck.
Okay.
That one's pretty awesome. Also,
Now,
Goodbye Pork Pie Hat. altogether.
Beatles covers tend to be sort of they're a bit divisive, right? Because
Mhm.
that's one of the bands they're very precious to a lot of people,
Mm-hmm.
and so when someone covers them, I think a lot of people get sort of defensive about the covers or about that they're being covered.
Well, those people can get over it.
Okay.
Because Jeff
Yeah,
Beck's
you
cover is
heard it
pretty
here
awesome.
first. All right, thank you both very much. How about we give something away?
Let's do
Please.
it.
If you were in the chat, you now have a chance to win one of two. We'll be giving the second one away later. One Ernie Ball prize pack. To win this, just follow the instructions that UB Jurassic, I almost said my own screen name, that UB Jurassic is giving in the chat. That is Brian. He is the Rocksmith community manager. He will tell you how you can win one of these prize packs. The prize pack includes a set of strings for your guitar and a 4-string set for your bass, a pack of 12 picks from Ernie Ball, plus 3 picks from us, the newly named Spectrum Plectrum. You're also going to get a black guitar strap from Ernie Ball, a package of Wonder Wipes, and a peg winder, all from Ernie Ball. Again, thank you to Ernie Ball for giving these to give to you. If you win, if you want to go on social media and let them know, they are at Ernie Ball on Twitter and Instagram, and they do keep an eye out for the I Play Slinky hashtag. So if you win and you want to give them a shout, we encourage that, we welcome that, and we try to give you all the tools necessary to do so. If you win, Brian is going to contact you via Whisper. He's going to get your full name, your shipping address, and your phone number. We need all of that information in order to ship your prize to you. We don't do anything funny with it. We get it, we put it on the form to ship you your prize, and then we eliminate that information from my computer. So yeah, please make sure you listen to what Brian is saying in the chat. He will give you the instructions. It's probably mostly going to be make sure you follow the channel. You have to follow to win, and then exclamation raffle. So good luck to everyone who is currently entering. In just a moment, we're going to play our second song for this week's stream. But first, we wanted to kick it over to the artists themselves. A couple of years ago, I think, Shane Gann, a note tracker here who's on tour currently, he got some video of the guys from Real Big Fish, and I believe this was while they were on Warped Tour when they were first introduced to Rocksmith. So let's take a quick look at that video, and we'll be right back with some more Real Big Fish.
Hey, this is Johnny Christmas from the band The Real Big Fish. You see this? This is a trumpet. Why don't you ever get to play the trumpet? Why don't they make a trumpet smith? Exactly. Why don't they do that? I hope you guys have a wonderful time playing the game, and we can't wait to see you at a show. Peace.
Hi, I'm Derek from Real Big Fish, famous for having the beer song in the Rocksmith video game. You've probably played, or you should if you haven't. And especially if you play bass, check it out. That's what I do.
Hey, this is Aaron from Real Big Fish, and we have a song in the game Rocksmith. You can learn beer by Real Big Fish. That's me. That's us.
This is beer right here.
You know what I mean. Check it out. It's awesome.
Thank you to Real Big Fish and Shane Gann for getting that footage for us. Why don't we have Trumpet Smith?
Trumpet Smith?
Yeah. Do you need help? I feel like you need assistance.
He's throwing picks
with your strap?
around and
I dropped my pick. So I might do with it.
total
plenty.
chaos.
Start
Yeah.
throwing picks at you. Welcome, Brian Shu.
Hi.
How you doing? Are you sure? Do we need to start over? We can't. It's too late. It was way too
We're
late.
past that.
Brian Shu, also a note tracker here at
Yes.
Rocksmith. And David Stevens, our QA czar. It's also been a while since you've been on the stream, on this side of the camera.
Yeah.
You've been tucked away back there
In the
for,
trenches.
I feel like months almost. How long has it been? What was the last
I
time
don't
you
know.
played? It knows. Well, welcome both of you. You two are playing Real Big Fish,
Yeah.
which shouldn't be a surprise to anyone, considering the video that we just played.
No, we're gonna pivot.
Oh no, what are we playing?
Slayer.
Slayer. Oh, cool, cool.
Just kidding.
No, okay. Real Big
Slayer's
Fish.
version of Take On Me.
I'm imagining the solo, and it's
I need
It's,
that.
you know, it's
Need
just
it.
like a lot of whammy, like dive bombs and stuff.
So originally performed by Aha,
True.
Take On Me.
Ah.
which is in the library. The original version was released in 2018. I think you just told me.
Yeah, end of October
Yeah.
2018.
Yeah, I'm just
think
repeating
Coco
back
did
the
that one,
information
yeah.
that you told me.
Not too long ago.
Yeah.
That was one of my first. I think that was one of my first streams here.
Ah.
Wow,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So neither of you note track this.
Mm-hmm.
This was Sam, I think.
No, I think this is
No?
Studley.
Is it
Greg.
Studley?
Yeah. Was this Coco? I
Coco
thought
did.
Coco did the original
Coco
one.
did the
Yeah.
original. Nobody knows
I'm
anything.
pretty sure Greg did this one.
It was note tracked.
Yeah. He was on
Because
vacation. right
I'm
now.
doing it and he is not here.
Yeah. he's taking a well-earned rest.
I mean,
Greg.
Well,
well earned.
I guess.
Yeah, sure. All right.
that's debatable. But, you know.
So this one, this is genre-wise distinct from the original, which is very much a synth pop, like pure 80s, and this is about as ska as it gets, I guess.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty ska.
Pretty ska.
Yeah.
What do we know about ska? We don't have a lot of ska.
Lots of triads, like minor and major triads, which are just like basic on the upper
Now, is
part of
this
your
is
string.
this specific to the song, or is this specific
This
to
is
the
specific
ska,
to
like
the
this version
genre of
okay.
ska. It's very similar to reggae. Ska is just a lot faster, but a lot of the same things. Whereas ska is actually a lot more emphasis on the upbeats.
Yeah.
Reggae is actually surprisingly a lot of the times like kind of a downbeat.
Don't be focused.
Downbeat focus. You know, you're kind of going like at a slower tempo, but
Yeah.
ska would be like. So you're doing a lot more upstrokes,
Right,
whereas
right.
reggae a lot of times you're actually doing downstrokes.
Okay.
It's kind of interesting.
That is interesting.
Yeah, this tune is definitely tough. Well, this band in particular, the bassist is really killer. Actually, the guitar
Yeah.
player is really good too. So The bass part's just all over the place.
It is.
Yeah,
It's
it's
super-
pretty
super
insane.
fast.
It's a fun part though.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
And listening to it, try not to follow the guitar because that's going to trip you up.
Listen to the
Lock in with the drums.
Yeah, and I did beer. I mean, I didn't do beer before. I mean, I did the no track beer.
Sure. But
And
you played. You
it's-
played.
I-
Did you no track or did you play?
I know tracked
Okay.
beer, the
Okay.
other song, and yeah, just same thing with that tune as well. So if you like this tune a lot, go check that one out.
All right. Cool.
I have actually kind of funny story about Real Big Fish. Not actually about them. It's more about me.
Sure.
It's like, so when I was
Well, I'd
playing,
love to hear it.
when I was playing a lot with Super Soul Bros, we were like a funk band, but we played really fast. It was like kind of a funk fusion thing. So
Yeah.
we were playing at like tempos like 150, like funk, and like some lady at one of our gigs, we were playing the it was Comic-Con, but in the Silicon Valley. The first time they did it here, I think
Yeah.
at San Jose, and like we just played a concert, and some lady was just up in front, just screaming at us like, "Play Real Big Fish, Real Big Fish." I think she had a lot of beers, but anyways,
It's fun. It's fun.
Okay.
Thank you for that. All right, let's take a look at "Take on Me" as performed by Real Big Fish. And again, if you have any more questions, let UB Jurassic know in the chat.
boots and cats and boots and cats and boots and cats. I played those chromatic patterns on the long string.
This is just where you have fun. Yeah.
Random.
Yeah.
Surprise shred. That's funny.
That is a lot of
intense.
fun. Yeah, yeah. You were referred to as underrated.
Huh?
I don't know. Not you. You're. You're.
I'll take
you're
that as a
perfectly-
compliment.
Yeah, I think it was meant as a compliment. I think
Oh.
it was meant as a compliment. Because it's a tricky bass part.
It is. It's very fast.
Now I noticed I was watching to see how you played the double stops because when I was playing, I would do a sort of plucking with these two fingers, and I saw you did a
Yeah,
like a
I always
swipe,
love to just
like a flick.
just whap my hand against
Yeah.
it.
Either is fine, I think.
And in the moment, it's really
yeah.
fun to play it
Right,
that way.
right. I might give that a
And
shot
you
next
kind of
time.
only have time to do that.
Yeah, right. All right. Now, I mentioned earlier, I'm going to ask you the same question that I've asked the previous two guests. I'm going to ask everybody this stream. And again, this does not confirm anything, nor does it hint at anything. It is just personal preference. Brian Shu, what's your favorite cover song?
What of all time?
Yeah,
Oh.
ever.
I don't have a favorite one of all time, but my current one is cover of. Does it have to be in the library?
No.
No. Okay. My current.
That's why it's a
favorite
dangerous
one
question.
Is I'm currently obsessed with "Lovely Day," re-recorded by a jazz pianist named Robert Glasper.
Interesting.
As
very
in
good.
Bill Withers' Lovely Day?
Yeah.
I would like to
That's
hear
a
that.
really good one. And he also covered he also covered "Smells Like Teen Spirit" in
Really?
kind of like a jazz fusion kind of instrumental thing.
I asked you to
pretty
send me
cool.
that later. After the
Very
stream.
cool.
Cool.
Different
thank
vibe.
you. David Stevens, same question.
That's a nice segue because my favorite cover is Nirvana's unplugged cover of "The Man Who Sold the World."
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
99 Red Balloons in the game.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah.
By Goldfinger. That one is killer, and I love that. And very similar vibes.
Right.
So go check that out.
I have a runner-up, which is Opeth's cover of Robin Trower's "Bridge of Sighs."
Ooh,
which
I
is,
heard some
pretty incredible.
noises from
Yeah, we're
Some
getting,
gasps
I'm
back
not-
there.
we're getting kind of deep here. We're getting
Cool.
kind of deep.
all right. Thank you both very much for joining us. Right now, we're going to take a look at a quick video. If you are watching this for the first time, you may not know we have a concept that we like to share called the 60-day challenge. The 60-day challenge, where if you play Rocksmith for an hour a day for 60 days and track your progress, you will be impressed, if not amazed, at what you can achieve over that 2-month period. This is a player named Brian who took the 60-day challenge. While that's going on, while this video is playing, we are going to give away 5 copies of this week's DLC, the Rockin' Covers Song Pack 2 for Steam, to 5 winners. So once again, please listen to what UB Jurassic, a.k.a. Brian Turner, the Rocksmith community manager, is telling you in the chat for your chance to win one of those while we take a look at another Brian.
My name is Brian Redmond, and I'm 18 years old. When I was a freshman in high school, I realized, I always just played sports, and that was it, And then I was like, well, maybe guitar, guitar's cool. People play guitars around a campfire. So I went and took 6 lessons, right? It was once a week. At first, it was so cool, It's like I got an electric guitar, it's this cool guitar, and I was like, oh, this is great. I think this is gonna be awesome. I used it 3 times. With the schedule I had with playing sports, I was just like, it's not worth it to me at this time. I would love to do it, but it's just not working. I took lessons 5 years ago now, and I know you're supposed to strum and hold the pick, and besides that, I couldn't tell you a thing. I think there's 6 strings. There's 6 strings on a guitar. I can almost be positive on that, I think. I'm definitely struggling with the chords themselves. I can't figure out how you're supposed to lightly hold this string while you hit it and then let go and make a noise. I'm really struggling with that. My strumming has got quicker, where I can hit faster notes, and I really like fast notes and fast songs. But I'm actually getting the right fingering where I need to be on quick, hard chords, so I'm really happy about that. It's really becoming a serious hobby for me, and my friends and family are noticing that, and it's cool to see them see me, especially now that I'm getting better. At first, I was kind of like, don't look at me, because I'm no good, But now I'm proud of how I've progressed, and I'm glad that they can see that. What's most important for me right now is that my progress is continuing to improve. I think I'm kind of making some big steps here. I'm just really happy with where I'm at right now. Before I started, if someone told me I would be where I am at now at day 60 with playing the guitar, I'd call them crazy. Everyone was making fun of me, at first, like, we know who you are, you're not musical, like, it's not gonna happen. Everyone that I talked to was like, well, go take guitar lessons. Like, that's how it's gonna happen. If not, you're looking for an easy way out. But when they started seeing the results, they're shocked. I feel like, yes, I can call myself a guitar player now, but I want to become even a better guitar player, and I want to keep going. Rocksmith, the 60-day challenge, was just the start of what's, hopefully yet to come.
And welcome back to this week's Rocksmith Developer Stream. I remain Doug Lilly, your community developer for Rocksmith and host of the stream. If you're just joining us, please welcome. I saw that there's quite a few people, more than usual, who haven't joined us on the stream for a while, and some people are asking, "Where's Dan?" So I'd like to introduce our next guest. Hello, Dan. How's it going?
So I brought this lifelike model of Dan.
Yes, hello.
Oh. It
Hey,
moves,
look,
it's real. Oh,
it's
you got
Travis
me.
Kindred.
And Travis Kindred.
Look,
Welcome.
we're all here.
Welcome,
Yeah.
both of you. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. It's nice to be missed. I'll say that much.
You're in the middle chair.
I'm in the middle chair, which is really weird, and I'm holding a guitar.
This is
yes, it's the same Shu
I don't
Stratocaster. So I asked Shu to bring this in.
Sure.
For two reasons. One, I was not very confident about playing today's song, and so I just thought, like, well, if Shu's going to bring in a guitar, sometimes he does, and sometimes he has a gig after work, and so I said, this is an '89 Fender American Standard, and I have an '88 Strat. So it feels very, very similar. Like the neck carve is the same.
Familiar.
Yeah, and so I was like, I would love if you could bring that in just so that I could have something that I felt confident with, because I like you, I ride my bike in, so I don't normally bring instruments back and forth. And then, of course, I realized that it was also an appropriate looking guitar based on the song that we had chosen.
The song that we've chosen. So earlier in the stream, the Dark Messiah said that we were probably going to have to bring on Travis to play the Real Big Fish tune.
Because heavy bass is when we call you.
Yes.
Bring us-
when you need heavy lifting. In
Bring
the bass
us the
department.
wolf.
So I don't know if people are speculating why we brought in Travis for now. We're going to play Higher Ground.
Yeah.
So you're going to do some Flea.
Yeah.
So this is Red Hot Chili Peppers' cover of the Stevie Wonder tune,
Exactly.
Higher Ground.
Yeah, everyone knows this tune. It's a classic. It's so much fun. And the bass part, I think, really stands out. It was one of those things that really shot Flea up as this sort of bass figure.
Yes.
In the musical community, and it's a really good cover too. It's very fun. It really swaps between the two primary sections, and the very end it just is something totally different for half a second.
Yeah. It goes like real punk. Real quick.
Just goes
Totally.
like speed metal almost.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
kind of
I
ridiculous.
actually will use a gallop technique for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So watch the fingers is what we're.
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah. if you want.
Now you were just told that you're probably gonna have to talk about this bass.
Yes.
So let's go ahead and get that out of the way.
Oh,
What do-
sure.
what do you got?
This is my bass. I have a gig after this, so I had to bring my bass to the office today.
Convenient.
And so this is just your average made in Mexico Fender Jazz, but it's a 5-string, right? There's nothing really special about it. Dan marked that I have gaff tape on my pickups. That's really just sort of an aesthetic thing. There might be a tonal change in it, but if there is, it's very slight. I like it. I think it looks classier. It's basically like the poor man's pickup cover, effectively.
It's a good way to do it.
Yeah, and I used to play a lot of much fancier gigs, and so I'd have to look a little. I don't know.
Classic. We don't allow pole pieces to be seen at these country clubs.
I got into the narrative of it. Pole pieces are fine. I don't mean to shame anyone with with exposed pole pieces.
I should
Please.
hope not.
Let your pole piece flag fly.
But now I want to do it on my bases at home.
It's cool.
It actually is
It's
kind of
kinda
cooler than
cool.
I was like. How come that never occurred to me?
Yeah.
Because I never thought it was a problem to show my pole pieces.
Right. Sorry.
Pole
But
shaming.
Yeah, you know.
Hashtag pole shaming.
I don't know where this conversation is. This
Pardon me.
this got really far away from me.
I also have one of these mutes on here. This is specifically to mute strings for tapping. Right. So
I always wondered.
Yeah. If I'm tapping here, right. And then I drop this on. Much cleaner sound.
Yeah.
And this is really like a lot of people call it like a session saver, because when you're doing lots of like tapping stuff for a recording session, and you don't quite hit a note just right, you'll hear a lot of the string, and it'll kind of like murk up all of that clean, nice sound that you want on the recording. This, you put it down, you don't have to worry about it.
So you can ham it up. You can
ham
it
up. You know it.
Go.
What he does, Moonlight Sonata, right? Which is really fun. Yeah.
I like that this is just in his trick bag. Like,
Yeah,
oh yeah,
yeah,
by the way,
yeah.
let's do Beethoven by
I
way
mean,
of Stu
this
Ham
is Stu
because
Ham,
you
yeah.
mentioned Stu Ham.
This is-
Yeah, that's
It's not something most people know how to do.
Yeah, sorry, I don't
immediately.
practice it very often,
this
so
is
it's a
why we
little,
invite
little
Travis.
sketchy. But yeah, so this thing is great. It's also very good for slapping, although for this song in particular, not the best. And we can go into why afterwards,
Okay.
because the Flea's style is very unique.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. And you are playing rhythm or lead?
I'm
today?
playing the rhythm track. The lead track is the beautiful wah. And I gave it a shot, and it's not that hard, but it was harder than I could do. So I'm doing sort of the power chord stuff with a little bit of riffing, and and then I realized John Frusciante used to play a. He was 18 when he did this song.
Really?
Yeah, and he does a 62,
Wow.
a 62 sunburst stress. So this is one of the only times you're going to see me playing a sunburst instrument. Those of you that know me or have followed any of my guitar pages, you know that if it's brown, it's a
Also,
clown.
this
Forget
guitar
it.
has no glitter on it anywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
So
There's
no
no
metal
sparkle.
flaking.
I have
yeah.
seen sparkle,
glitter.
like metallic finish.
Oh, yeah.
Brown sunbursts, and it always makes me go, I hate it and I love it at the same
It's
time.
like brown sparkles.
Yeah, brown sparkles. Swear to God, and yeah, there's. Oh,
Yeah.
well,
It should be
we're
like
not going to get
copper-
into it. Let's just
Copper,
play the
like
song.
copper sparkles on a brown.
No, it's like literally
Brown
this, but
sparkles.
as it goes in, it's like a black sparkle metallic out here, and then it
Weird.
goes into sort of an amber and
That's
a red.
weird, Dan.
It's super weird, and that's why I don't have one.
All right. Higher Ground is performed by Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Awesome.
Here's hoping I get most of this right. almost got the ending. Almost.
That close.
I'm like, wait, 14th fret. What the hell is that? I don't go above the 12th. I'm a rhythm guitarist.
It's such a fun tune.
They just repeat. Did you know that? If you just go above the 12th fret, they just repeat.
Yeah, it's just like you're like, oh, I got this, and then hey, I have a whole other.
I need like, you know what? I could use a 7-fret guitar and just leave the rest blank. That's me.
Well, that's just a viol da gamba.
I just need an octave. That's all I
You
need.
shut your mouth.
Malcolm said you should play guitar on the stream more.
Yep.
That's because Malcolm is too kind, and and that was, I mean, again, that's a fairly easy thing, and I had a lot of fun with that riff.
Yeah.
But there were a bunch of jumps. You know, at one point he does all the middle 3 strings open, and then jumps up and does the octave. But he's jumping between a bunch of other stuff down here that I was just sort of like not ready for. But yeah, I enjoy playing guitar, but I usually play bass because it's easier for me to pick up a bass line in time for the deadline of doing the stream.
Well, one thing should be noted that like while Rocksmith can take you to like a professional level, to a high level of playing ability, the majority of the user interaction with this game is by people who just enjoy playing guitar.
Yeah.
You are literally like imbibing the core concept of playing Rocksmith.
Yeah.
All right. In that case, yeah, sure, I'll play guitar more often.
Hey, Dan, do you have a relationship with music?
No.
Was
that your table?
Yes.
yeah.
I do.
I don't want to flip the podium.
I do, but my wife is probably watching, so I don't want to talk about my relationship. My side piece.
Travis,
that's me.
You said that the technique that's used in this song is a bit different than your usual.
Yeah, so there are so this is slap technique, slap bass. There are a couple of different schools of thought for slap bass. The flea school, which is very cool, that's fine, is it's a bouncing technique. So what you're doing is you're taking your thumb, and what you want is you want to press the strings against the frets to get that slap sound, as opposed to
plucking.
You can get that a little bit here, right? I'm pressing the strings into the frets. That's where that sound comes from. But here, bouncing and getting it. And then the pop is just a pull-up. So instead of using a rest stroke where you rest on the next string, you pull up from beneath and let it slap back on the frets. It's all about the frets. So the slap on a fretless instrument sounds a lot different. So what flea does is that bounce technique, right? So if I just do the slaps. Now, if you were playing something like Victor Wooten or in sort of a more modern slap style, what you will do is you'll use that rest stroke I talked about earlier, but you use it with your thumb. So instead of bouncing off, right, and I'm over-exaggerating, you don't have to go that far, right? You'll go through the string and rest. And this allows you to go...
Oh.
And so you get that.
Oh, you're pulling up with the
So you
thumbnail.
can use it like a pick.
Interesting. I've never seen that.
Now, when you're going between different strings, are you still popping with your fingers?
Yes. Yeah. So let's say I want to go. Right. So like I might do something like. And then that sounded like garbage, but you end up getting something like what Victor Wooten would do. That also sounds like garbage 'cause I don't practice this technique very often. But I listen to songs like Classical Thump. Right, and you'll get that technique, but with Fleet, it's all about that pop and that sort of coming off the string. And so that gets really hard because it gets very fast. Right, and so you end up having to really get this action with the wrist down. And so all that is to say, if you're using the mute for this kind of thing, especially with all these open strings. That's really dead as compared to nice and open. So you don't get as much of the return on the investment. Yeah, it cuts a little bit of the high. It also cuts a little bit of the attack, which is not so great. But for like.
Yeah,
stuff like that.
That sounded fine.
That's much better with this, right?
Yeah.
So there are different ways of playing, and Flea has a very specific style of slap. I also one of the reasons I brought my bass out, because I was thinking about I'll just use the Caprice, right? I love that bass. There's this theory or this fear of using multi-string instruments for slap. Because the string space isn't quite so wide, and so you're going to hit all these other strings. And honestly, it's just practice. Like, I wanted to show, hey, you can play this on a 5-string, no problem. If you have a 5-string, don't feel like you can't play slap.
Okay.
You totally can.
Yeah.
And there are also guitarists that play with slap. I mean, even Sam Schwartz is a fantastic slap guitarist.
Yeah.
So don't let the string spacing be the reason that you don't exercise this technique.
Just let it be the reason that you practice a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Cool. I'm going to give this caveat every time I ask the question. Again, we're not confirming anything. We're not adding hints. This is just personal preference of the guests on the stream. What is your favorite cover song?
Palette Sweat? No. Actually, I have I am a
does
big
parody count as cover?
No.
Okay.
Yes, it does. Legally, it does. But honestly, when I think of cover songs, I want somebody to take the song somewhere new. Like a cover should. I've seen covers that were complete recreations of the original, which is very respectful and sometimes very interesting. But at that point, I kind of think, why wouldn't I just listen to the original? So I like the ones that sort of transform it. And the best transformative cover I can think of is indie band from the late 90s, mid 90s called the Gigolo Ants. And they did a cover of Van Halen's Why Can't This Be Love as if it were a 1964 Beatles song.
What?
So it is the complete dead-on style of early Beatles. And it's better than the Van Halen. It's absolutely go check it out. It's out there. It was on a Van Halen tribute album called Everybody Wants Some, and it's out there on the YouTubes and on various compilations. The Gigolo Ants doing Why Can't This Be Love, and it's as if it was a Beatles song. It's brilliant.
That's awesome. For me, I mean, even last night I was listening to this "Never Ending Story" by Newfound Glory.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Their whole from the screen to the studio collection. They do a lot of sort of like pop punky versions of songs from movies. The King of Wishful Thinking is another one that they cover on those collections.
That's
and
really
it's
cool.
Really good.
But also, you can never go wrong with any of Johnny Cash's covers, especially
The
My Own Personal
American-
Jesus is probably like.
Sure.
I mean, it's funny. I thought that was the original song, and I was like, "Oh, Depeche Mode covered this Johnny Cash tune."
There's a few
it's
songs
so
that
good.
Johnny Cash has been sort of credited with.
Yeah.
Apparently, there's another version of Hurt, but nobody's ever heard it.
So they say. All right. Thank you both.
Thank you
very much. Speaking of other songs, in case you missed it, if you're looking for more cover songs, we did. You may have assumed from the name of this song pack, this week's song pack, the Rockin' Covers Song Pack 2, that there was a previous Rockin' Covers Song Pack. If that is your method of thought, you are correct. We did release the Rockin' Covers Song Pack back in 2017, September of 2017. That song pack includes the Goldfinger cover of 99 Red Balloons that was mentioned earlier in the stream, as well as Hailstorm's Bad Romance, which was also mentioned by Emmy. In that pack as well is Tainted Love, is covered by Marilyn Manson. Tainted Love, that is a Gloria Jones song that was covered by Soft Cell, and the Marilyn Manson version is a cover, I believe, of the Soft Cell version. So it's a cover of a cover, which isn't the first time you'll hear that phrase today. Also in that pack was the Seether cover of Wham's Careless Whisper. There are some other cover songs in the library that you may or may not know about. There is the Rage Against the Machine cover of Afrika Bambaata's Renegades of Funk. Jeff Buckley's cover of Hallelujah. Once again, that is Jeff Buckley covering John Cale's version of a Leonard Cohen song. Also is Shine Down with Simple Man, a Leonard Skinner cover. And The Clash's I Fought the Law. I Fought the Law, another song that has been covered numerous times. The original version of I Fought the Law was The Crickets, I believe, is what I found. Also, if you like the Joan Jett song, we have a Joan Jett song pack that came out not too long ago that includes Bad Reputation, I Hate Myself for Loving You, and another cover, Crimson and Clover. Please check those songs out. And if there are any other covers in the library that you want to recommend, feel free to do so. If there's cover songs that you would like to hear, make sure you reach out to the request page. If you just go to rocksmith.com, on the top of the page will be a button says requests. Click that and submit whatever versions of songs you would like to see in the library, and we'll collect that and take a look. Also, I got a note earlier from Chris Wu, our international product manager. He wanted to let everyone know that we apologize for the delay on the Bohemian Rhapsody sweepstakes. They are currently trying to work out that data and make sure we get the winner. If you want to know any information on when that's going to be announced, just head to rocksmith.com/brsweeps, and we will keep that page updated with the information on the drawing of the winners of the Bohemian Rhapsody sweepstakes. Now, we are on to our final song of the evening, and to perform it, we have our two last guests. Welcome, guys.
Hi. Howdy.
Hi. Brian Pody.
Hello.
I feel like it's been a while.
A
A little while. I think everybody has felt like it's been a while to me. Maybe this past
Where
week.
have you
maybe
been, Doug?
maybe it's just been a long week. I don't know. That might be it. Welcome.
Thank you.
And to your left is Rockin.
Hi there.
How's it going?
It's
And what are we
good.
playing? We've got one more song. Over the Hills and Far Away by Nightwish.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Not Led Zeppelin.
different.
And not Gary Moore.
Not this is a cover of the Gary Moore song,
Yeah.
not a cover of the Led Zeppelin song by the same name. I think when usually with the clues on Friday, which I'll talk about a little bit later, usually I keep hands off and I just let RS222 sort of do his own thing. This is one of the few times that I've kind of stepped in and been like, if you happen to use Over the Hills and Far Away, make sure you get the band out there. Make sure they figure out the band before they get the name of the song, because we didn't want any confusion or sour grapes.
Yeah. I was confused.
You were
That's-
confused. You're
that's
like,
why I raised my hand at our
this
meeting.
this
I
sounds
would
really
love to
weird.
play that song.
I know.
No, the
here you
song
are.
is cool,
No.
too.
So you're doing a lead on this one,
Uh-huh.
and you're doing rhythm, and this is Nightwish.
Yeah.
This is the first time we've had Nightwish in the library. It's a band that I've seen a lot of requests for on social media, which again, social media requests don't count for requests to get to us in an official capacity. That's where you want the webpage. Nightwish, doing lead, rhythm. How different are these two parts, or do we know?
I think there's
because neither of you know.
they
track
share
records.
some parts, right?
They
Well,
share.
there's probably a lot of crossover. They only have one guitarist.
Okay, so maybe some solos while you continue on with riff.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we
It
can find
looks
out
pretty
together.
I'm curious myself.
Looks pretty similar. So yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at Over the Hills and Far Away by Nightwish, and we'll talk about what was different. We'll all learn together.
Some of that bit. So far, they're the same. Flawless so far. Perfect performance so far.
Yeah, you guys are nailing it.
Feeling good about this.
All right, now watch out for this next measure. Okay, great.
Wow, even this part's the same. Can you pan us left and right, Andy? I want to do a dive bomb so
Do
bad,
it.
but I can't because I don't know the locking tremolo.
Oh, okay.
It's an Ibanez guy. Of course it has a locking tremolo.
I mean, I had to unlock these, so the rest of the song will be out of tune. So I'll do it on the last note of the song.
Okay. I don't have a lock. We went pretty far into the fade here.
See,
All right.
I can't go back
So, yeah,
destroyed my tuning.
Pretty similar paths. Looks like the lead had some,
Yeah, that was
some
very
fills
similar.
and a solo. So, yeah. Thank you for letting us learn together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was fun.
I did have a couple of questions. One is an interface question. I figured I'd let you tackle. What does it mean when a note has an X on it?
It means
one of two things.
One of two things. It's either a palm mute or a fret hand mute.
Okay. How can you? Do you know how you can tell the difference?
By listening.
That's a great way to do it, actually.
I think the palm mute is the white one,
and the fret hand mute is the
black
X.
one.
That sounds right. That's correct.
All right.
David Stevens verifies this.
Got it
All right.
right.
Cool. And then Jean308 wants to know, with songs like Tie Your Mother Down and Werewolves of London, will the game detect whether or not one uses a slide on those solos?
No, it's just listening for pitch and time.
Okay. So you can feel free to use a slide or not if you don't have one, but you can probably get a slide, play with it. They're fun.
Yeah, we're not detecting those like micro tonalities.
Right, as long as it's within
between
like
frets.
It's basically like the note hitbox. If we were a first-person shooter, it would be the square around the thing that you're trying to hit. But for us, it's the range, the note, the frequency.
Yeah,
the
yeah. I
note.
mean,
roughly, I'm making it sound. This is like my idiot version of describing what we do.
There's certainly a window.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, I got it. I was 100% right. That's good to know. I've asked everybody else this question. What is your favorite cover song?
The Darkness does a really good version of Street Spirit.
Okay.
By Radiohead that I
Really?
like a lot. It's some like B-side, but I have like everything they ever did because I love that band.
I'll listen to that.
It's
That's
good.
That's interesting.
Very good.
Rye.
Oh, off the top of my head, I like that Disturbed cover of the Genesis song "Land of Confusion."
Oh yeah. I remember that one. I thought you were gonna go different.
I guess
Disturbed
you could
cover,
go with
but
like
yeah.
any Van Halen cover, which every
That's
album.
what I was expecting.
Yeah.
Cool. All
Nothing
right.
super ironic or anything. I just can't. Nothing's coming to mind.
Thank you both very much for joining us again. And we are going to give away one last Ernie Ball prize pack for this week. So if you are in the chat, please listen to what UB Jurassic is telling you, and he will help lead you to victory, or at least one of you. He will get one of you this Ernie Ball prize pack, which includes 2 sets of strings, one 6-string set, one 4-string set. It's going to have a dozen Ernie Ball picks, 3 picks from us, the Spectrum Plectrum that you see to the right of the Ernie Ball picks, 1 black Ernie Ball strap, a package of Ernie Ball Wonder Wipes, and a peg winder from Ernie Ball. All of that can be yours if you follow our channel and type in !raffle and listen to whatever UB Jurassic says in the chat. That is Brian Turner. He is our community manager. I am Doug Lilly. I'm the community developer here. I've been your host. Want to thank you once again for joining us. Welcome back to all the people who said they haven't been here in a while and didn't know who I am. I'm Doug. Nice to meet you. Finally, I used to be a moderator here, so if you knew me from then, UB Vertigo, that's me. Hi. Coming up next week, well, we don't yet know. Well, I know what's coming next week. If you want to know what's coming next week, your first glimpse can be on the Ubisoft forums for Rocksmith tomorrow morning. Again, just go to rocksmith.com and click the button for the forums on the top of that page. Tomorrow morning, depending on who posts it, whether it's UB Jurassic or UB Syraxia over in the UK, tomorrow morning we will have a clue for next week's song pack. So you can learn 1 song and the name of the pack and probably how many songs are going to be in the pack. That will all be on the forums tomorrow. So again, listen to what UB Jurassic is saying in the chat. He probably he knows if it's going to be him or UB Syraxia who will be posting it, which should tell you roughly when it will be posted. That clue comes from Rolling Stone 222, who we mentioned earlier in the stream. Again, he's been given free reign to make these clues, and we thank him for that. This month will not have an encore stream. Usually every month we like to have a bonus stream on Monday. This month, unfortunately, some last minute things came up and we weren't quite able to make it work. But next week we hope to have another one. Other than that, check us out on social media. We are on Facebook, just facebook.com/Rocksmith. We're on Twitter and Instagram with at Rocksmith Game. You can find us there. And again, thank you very much for joining us. We will see you next week. Let's take one more look at the Rockin' cover song pack 2. Thank you.